What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys this afternoon. This is for the matchup coming on August the 27th between Robert Guerrero and Marcos Maidana. It's going to be for the WBA Interim Light Welterweight Championship. Puts together the challenger, Robert Guerrero, against the champion, or the interim champion, Marcos Maidana. This is going to be an interesting bout, if you ask me. Pretty much Marcos Maidana is coming off of very close razor-thin victory over Eric Morales, which it was razor-thin. It possibly could have gone either way. I thought Maidana won. My personal scorecard, I had Maidana by 1 point, but also you can argue, Eric Morales winning this fight or a draw. So it's a fight that could have gone either way. Depending on what you're looking for. But personally, I think in that fight he did seem to underestimate Morales a little bit. But also Eric Morales was able to expose little things in Maidana that other fighters were not able to exploit. Amir Khan wasn't able to really exploit anything with Maidana other than the fact that Khan was much faster than Maidana. He was much faster. He was able to beat him to the punch, come over his jab, and use a lot of movement and move away from Maidana's power. And Morales, was just able to counter him, and he had a chin, and he was able to hold up and take Maidana's best shots, and he was able to pretty much withstand punishment early in the fight to later on use that aggression against him. So now you have Robert Guerrero, who fought in the undercard on April 9th against Michael Caceres. Robert Guerrero is a fighter that has been looking for, big paydays. Unfortunately, Juan Manuel Marquez will be fighting Manny Pacquiao on November the 13th. And so that fight for right now is out of the door. Golden Boy and Top Rank aren't doing any business together. So a fight with Brandon Rios or even Miguel Vasquez is out of the picture. Humberto Soto is a free agent right now. This fight could possibly happen at lightweight. It really depends. But overall, Robert Guerrero is at that point to where he had to move up to light welterweight to have a big fight happen. And the light welterweight division, hands down, is the most talent-rich division in boxing. And Robert Guerrero is, I think, pound for pound, maybe a top 15, top 20 fighter, pound for pound, in terms of skill. And I believe that skill, pretty much translates very well with his athleticism, and the fact that at lightweight and featherweight and junior featherweight, he's a big guy. He seems to always be bigger than the fighters that he's facing, or taller at least. And this is another fighter I believe he's taller than. He's taller than Marcos Maidana. So simply in this fight, Robert Guerrero does have, hands down, has better skill than Marcos Maidana. But it's pretty much execution in this fight. What I really wonder in this fight, what kind of game plan Robert Guerrero's corner is going to come out with against Marcos Maidana. Being the taller fighter and being the southpaw, what Guerrero wants to do is Guerrero does pretty much want to use that to his advantage. If he's able to pretty much use the fact that he's a southpaw, in the fight, and he's able to utilize the fact that he's a southpaw, he's moving away from Maidana's power shots. Something to point out that Morales did was he never necessarily took full onslaught power from Marcos Maidana. Now, don't get me wrong, he had some shots that he took straight up, but if you look at the fight, Eric Morales had used little subtle twists and turns that pretty much took a little bit of the power away, and he didn't really catch that full onslaught punch. In this specific fight, what Robert Guerrero wants to do is he does want to kind of do this thing where he comes in and out. He comes in, he attacks, he comes outside, and jabs on the outside. Pretty much in this fight, he does not want this to be a center of the ring fight. He wants to move as much as possible. When he's on the outside, use the southpaw jab. Come over, try his best to come over Marcos Maidana's guard, beat him to the punch, and pretty much use the ring to his advantage. I'm really wondering the size of the ring, how big the ring's gonna be for this fight. If the shorter the ring, the more of an advantage that Maidana has. The longer the ring, with the more of an advantage Guerrero has in this fight. But I think that if he utilizes movement, comes inside, comes in and out, comes inside, throws combinations, comes outside, use the jab on the outside, and look for the straight left, then I think he can very well beat Maidana using that, pretty much sticking to that type of game plan. If he's able to find a way to attack and not let Maidana attack, not let Maidana come inside, and not sit on the lead, he definitely in this fight does not want to sit on the lead against Maidana. So particularly, I think he just needs to stick to that adage of game plan in this fight. For Marcos Maidana wants to apply lots of pressure on the Robert Guerrero, but also he does want to throw a lot of body shots. Something I did notice in the Morales fight, and something I also kind of noticed in other little fights with Maidana, is the fact that from time to time he's just a headhunter. He doesn't necessarily go to the body a lot, but when he goes to the body, he's a decent body puncher. So in this specific fight, he does want to go to the body a lot against a mover like Robert Guerrero. Use kind of those old fighter tactics, what the old fighters used to do to take the movement away from movers when they would hit the fighters on the hip, which is basically, like I said, it's an old tactic right there, hitting the fighter on the hip, because it takes movement. It doesn't necessarily take all the movement away, but it takes some of the movement away, and it slows them down. When you slow down Robert Guerrero, that's when he's standing in front of you and you're making him fight with you. I don't think Robert Guerrero's the type of fighter that wants to stand and trade. If you look at the Dow Jordan fight, like I think it was March or April of '09, his heart came into question. It was a fight to where he was more than likely gonna face adversity. For once in his career, it looked like he was going to face adversity, and I think his eye was where he couldn't see or anything, but it was a fight he possibly could have continued fighting, even with one eye, because many fighters have fought with one eye, but there was no blood or anything. I don't remember it being much if any swelling at all. So what he wants to do is he does want to come in, and he wants to hurt Robert Guerrero, and he wants to hurt him early in the fight. He wants Guerrero to respect his power. And the way to get him to respect his power is coming inside. Marcos Maidana does a good job of coming right in the middle. In this fight, everything has to be right in the middle for Marcos Maidana. If he's able to get in the middle, then when he gets in the middle, he's able to get inside and capitalize on it, and throw cell shots to the body. Look for the left uppercut to the body, and use it on occasion. Use it on occasion, or use it when you have to. Not only that, but just pretty much continuous pressure. Continuous pressure. Have Guerrero try to sit on the lead and look for the straight right hand, a hard straight right hand counter sometime in this fight, and he could very well win. Because with Guerrero, I think it's a punch that will surprise him when he's going backward. It's going to be the shot that hurts him. So I think that's pretty much what Maidana needs to do in this fight. So me, who am I going to go with in this fight? I'm going to go with Robert Guerrero in this fight by unanimous decision. Robert Guerrero definitely will not go for he might go for the knockout, but I don't think he's going to take that much of a risk. He's not much of a risk taker in the ring. He does everything. He's a very safe fighter. He pretty much does everything. He does, everything he does well, he does very well. And, all his strengths he does very well. Excuse me for that horrible term that I use. Horrible English, whatever. But everything he does good, he does very well. But everything he does bad, he doesn't do too well. But also, he's smart. He thinks in the ring.